Hello, boys and girls. Yesterday we did our first read of our new story called Life in a Pond. And remember, this book is called a non-fiction book, which means it's all about real life things. It's all about a real life pond and real life animals. And like our story, Little Pip, that was a fiction story. So it wasn't a real penguin doing real things. This one is a nonfiction, which means it is real. And we are using text, words, and pictures to ask and answer questions that we have about the story. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Our author is Carol K. Lindeen. And remember, because this is a nonfiction story and they use real pictures, there isn't an illustrator. No one drew the pictures in the story. All right, we are going to be on page number 4, starting right at the beginning. Remember, there's little page numbers down here at the bottom corner that tell you what we are learning about. All right, let's get started. It says, what are ponds? A pond is a small body of still, shallow water. Now think to yourself, I just read that story. We're going to use what we learned, what we just read. Now, what is a pond? Think in your brain. Maybe tell yourself or tell a grown-up near you. What is a pond? What is a pond? I hope you said a pond is a small body of water that's really shallow. Here's a good picture of a pond. It's a really small. You see, you could start over here and walk all the way around a pond. It's very, very small. Ponds are found in many parts of the world. Ponds form in forests, on farms, and in cities. Now, think in your brain, where can you find a pond? Think of what I just read. Where can you find a pond? Tell yourself or maybe tell a grown-up. Where can you find a pond? Ponds are form in forests, on farms, and in cities. So that's where ponds form. That's where you can find them. You can find them in a forest, maybe on a farm, and even in cities. All right, today we're going to be also talking about, we're going to close the book for right now. We're going to be talking about the main idea and details. So if you have a piece of paper, go ahead and maybe have a grown-up help you. You're going to need it to look like this. It has in the middle the main idea, and then these little stems that come out, which are the details. Okay? So the main idea, think about what is this story all about? And even our title can help us with that. What is this story all about? Go ahead and think in your brain. What is this story all about? I hope you said this story is all about ponds, because even our title of our story tells us that, life in a pond. So we know the main idea, what this story is all about, is ponds. So I'll draw a little pond, draw some things that were in the pond. A frog that was in the pond, maybe some rocks. So I'm going to draw a pond, and I can even write pond on there, pond. It is all about ponds. This book, that's what everything is about. That's the main idea. The whole story is all about is about ponds. Now, the story talked about different things that were in ponds, or all about ponds. Those are the details of the story, okay? So think back to what we just read, or maybe things that we read yesterday. What are some things that are all about a pond? So when we talked about what is a pond, what is this pond? It's very small. So we could write on here, small. oh, small. This is how you phonetically sound out small, using just the sounds. Oh. If you know how to correctly spell it, you can spell it correctly, but you can also spell it like this. It is small. What else do we know and we learned about a pond in our story? What else was there? Let's look back into our story. We read into this page today, but we could even go farther. Who lives in a pond? A fish. We could draw or write fish. Fish. What else was in the story? The details. Remember, our main idea, the thing the story is all about, is about a pond. Then there are details that talk about ponds in the story. So we know that ponds are small. They have fish in it. What else? Let's keep turning the page. What is this? A duck. We could make a duck. It doesn't have to be perfect. A duck. Duck. So we know that the main idea is ponds. That's what this story is all about. And in the story, we learn that ponds are small. Ponds have fish. Ponds have ducks. What else? We could turn the page. Ooh, what's this? A frog. We could even draw a frog. This is how I draw frogs. A frog. Frog. So our main idea is all about ponds, and in the ponds are small, ponds have fish, ponds have ducks, ponds have frogs. And now I want you to think of the last one. You can pick anything else. You can keep going in our story and maybe find something else that is in a pond that is a detail in the story that talks all about ponds. Remember, our main idea, what this story is all about, is it's all about ponds. And the details are the different things that the story talked about a pond. That ponds are small, ponds have fish, ponds have ducks, ponds have frogs. And tell me one more. If you want to do more, you could do more if you want to, because there's a lot more about ponds in our story. But do at least one more and then share this on Seesaw. I want to see what else you remember is in our story that is all about ponds. All right, I can't wait to see what you guys picked.